This game, okay? This game, let me tell you, it's a game that no matter whose house I went to as a kid, always had it. Always had it. I never played it, but I always wanted to play it, but I never wanted to ask them because it was rude. So, but now we're going to talk about it. But this game isn't the same game. This game is actually a remake of the old game. The last two videos have been about remakes. I promise I'll start to talk about other games besides this, other games that aren't remakes, but I thought I'd get the remakes out of the way because they're much easier to talk about because people might have already had their opinions formed around it, and that makes me have my opinion on it a little easier. So this game is actually a very, very popular cartoon show um, called SpongeBob SquarePants. And the game in question is SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. So this game has already been a little controversial, just a little bit. And the reason why is because the early review copies that people got weren't exactly good. Specifically, the Switch version, there was a ton of glitches that people would face, like falling through the ground and some enemies being unkillable for whatever reason, and then all that. Um, Day one, there was a patch, so for me, when I started playing, I thought it was pretty flawless. Like there was maybe just a handful of glitches, but they were very inconvenient. So I think we should get into the review. Personally, the graphics. Um, the environment was sometimes inconsistent, but pretty good for the most part. I thought, I believe this game made by THQ was made in Unreal Engine, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that. I'm not entirely sure. Um, I thought the environment looked really well. I thought the landscapes were lit up really nice. There was a lot of different. Um, the landscapes, for the most part, were pretty much the same. They were all grassy areas, same enemies, all that. Or to me, it seemed the same. It was. I talked about how in my last video, in the Destroy All Humans video, which you should go watch, the colors were very vibrant. I would say this game, the colors were very psychedelic, very vibrant and very psychedelic in a way. I think SpongeBob SquarePants has always had that kind of vibe in their show, so it made sense for it to be like that. I've never played the original, so I can't really say for sure, but it was very colorful to say the least. Character models, um, for a new, and I guess new, for a new game, they're okay. The models are okay. I will say though, the model for SpongeBob was very very cute. It reminds me of the model that they're using for the new movie. I'm not entirely sure what the movie's called. It's like Fish Out of Water or something like that. Um, and he looks very nice. His animations for some cutscenes look very very nice, and his face looks very shiny and like new, and his eyes look. They're obviously his eyes are a lot different because they look just like the movie version. Um, Gameplay. I would say there's a decent amount of variety of gameplay. You have the variety between all three characters, right? You played as Sandy, Patrick, and SpongeBob. SpongeBob between all three of them had the most variety because he's obviously the main character. Sandy was more of a floating kind of person compared to Patrick, who was more of a pick up heavy things and throw them and do heavy damage. And then SpongeBob was all around, could do most of the stuff too, had projectiles and all that. So that was very nice. Um, the mini games that you get to play in sometimes throughout the game was very it was a nice break from the core gameplay. I thought the core gameplay was very it's a collectathon, so you would always have to collect things, and I personally love collectathons. A lot of people don't. People just like to play the game, get it over with, move on to the next game. I 100% the game, but I would say that through most missions, I would try to collect everything that I saw, everything that I knew I could get. If there were some things that I tried, I'm like, okay, I'll try again. Okay, I couldn't get it. Okay, I'll just move on. But for the most part, I try to collect everything that the game would offer me right there and then. So I thought that was really good. And the mini games served as a good break, I would say, before moving on to a new area. The mini games would be like the underworld bungee jumping, and then like the sand sledding, and just a bunch of different mini games. The main collectibles in the game were obviously the coral, which is the money in the game, golden spatulas, and Patrick socks, which ultimately the money and Patrick socks would earn you more golden spatulas. So that way you could 100% the game. I think the max amount of spatulas was 90, I believe. So there's that. Um, I thought the story was pretty basic. It's one of those games where it was it's not really surprising coming from a game from early 2000s. I mean, Destroy All Humans also came from around the same time. The original game for SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom came out for the PS2, GameCube, Xbox, PC, just like how Destroy All Humans did, the original one did. And both games were pretty simple. This game was pretty simple too. It's just another they did a good job in converting the a typical SpongeBob episode into a good game, into a good game. Um, some of the side quests, if that's what you like to call them, were nice because a lot of the game was like sometimes they'd be like puzzle based, but like a lot of the side quests were also puzzle based, and that served as a good kind of like, okay, if I want to get this golden spatula, so I won't have to do as much work throughout the main story, I would have to go and do puzzle based side quests instead. That would maybe give me one or two spatulas depending on the side quest that it was. Um, Jokes and the characters' interactions. So the jokes I thought were pretty SpongeBob, pretty SpongeBob to say the least. And the way the characters interacted, I thought was very good. Um, Obviously, the voice acting was on par. It's the same voice actors that it is in the show, minus a couple. Pat or Mr. Krabs had a different voice actor. He's the worst one, I would say, or the most obvious one. Not to say the voice actor was bad, but he didn't really quite pull it off. He could have done better. Uh, my last thoughts in the game. It was a good nostalgic game. The graphics were okay. They were pretty for a remake. For a new game, not necessarily. Um, they could have done better. Possible movie sequel remake. Who knows? It'd be cool to see the SpongeBob movie video game be remade into the same style that this game was. I think for a score, I would give this a 7 out of 10. Maybe a little higher, maybe a light 8, heavy 7. For those of you that watch the Needle Drop, how he rates his music album reviews and all that. Um, the game was very fun to play through. It was very easy. I think it took me about 3, 4 days to beat it. Collect the necessary amount of spatulas plus more. Doing some of the harder side quests to get some spatulas. The boss fights were very good. So I'd rate it a 7. 7, maybe 8. So yeah, that's my opinion on the game. If you like this video, leave a comment, a like, maybe even subscribe. I have one subscriber, but we're chugging along. This is video number 3, so, and who knows how long I'll be dedicated to this, because I really want to really try to get into this. So it'd mean a lot to me if you liked and commented on this video. If you're watching this, I also live stream on Twitch with the same username at twitch.tv/parallelmanuel. Right now, currently during this video's recording, I'm playing through God of War, and then I'm probably gonna play through Ghost of Tsushima after that, and then depending if I finish Ghost of Tsushima soon, I'll probably be playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, the remake, and the new Avengers game. So watch out for those, and I also have reviews for those same 4 games that I've mentioned, and I also have 2 more reviews, and then I also plan to review an anime and one album soon, a music album soon, so look out for those. Thank you once again, and I'll see you guys around. Peace.